All right. Good morning. Hey, Alex. How are you? Welcome back, and welcome everyone to No Man's Land. This is what, number 13, number 14? Things are going great. LJack 2K, how are you? Thanks for joining us. All right. So we're into September now. We've got a little bit of weather here. If we take a look at the forecast, I want to see when the rain is expected to stop. Looks like around 11 a.m. All right, so we'll have some rain for a little bit, but that's okay. We don't really have to do any field work right now. Our soybeans are almost ready. We'll be harvesting those next month in October if everything goes well, which looks like a day in the game. Hey, Osiris, how are you? Good morning. So, so we're free to do some other stuff here. In the last stream, we did a pretty significant expansion of our field down here by the grain mill. Whoops. Let's get that to a different view. Yeah, so you can see there the brown area is where we expanded the size of the field. So I don't know, it looks like we close to doubled it. Hey, Lanesta, how are you? Welcome. Right, so that should give us a lot of, and it's going to be sorghum this time. But the sorghum we can't plant until the spring. April is the first month that we can plant sorghum. So, so that field will be sitting the way that it is until the springtime. Before I started the stream here, I was checking on our animals. The animals are doing fine. Chickens are about half full on food, and the sheep still have plenty of food. They have not started to reproduce yet, but they're at 60%. So I think we get 20% per month. So hopefully in, let's say, October, November. Yeah, so hopefully by December we'll have another 10 sheep in there from these 10 that are mature. We'll see how that goes. And then on the production side, we're making bread. We've got plenty of flour in the bakery, so we'll be making bread for quite a while. That'll give us some decent income on a regular basis. My plan is to sell, bread has a cyclical price just like everything else in the game. But my plan is, at a bakery, you wouldn't be storing bread for months and months. So just to be somewhat more realistic, my plan is to sell bread on a daily basis or nearly a daily basis. And then in the greenhouse, we're just making strawberries and sending those to the bakery. The greenhouse, a single greenhouse doesn't give us a lot of money anyway. So I'd rather just have it now, just filling up strawberries at the bakery for when we get to the point that we can make cake. Now, to make cake, we are going to need sugar, milk, and butter, right? So the only missing ingredients from our production at this point are dairy cows and sugar beets. So we'll start planning to work on those. Before we get going, though, I wanted to take a little bit of the money that we've got now and upgrade our Fendt tractor and give it some more oomph. So let's go to the customization. Right, so it has 396 horsepower presently, which is the base horsepower configuration. So I wanted to max out the engine on this guy. So if we go to the 1050, that'll give us 517 horsepower, which is enough to pull pretty much any tool in the game, at least that I'm aware of. That's $38,000. It's not cheap, but It won't affect our maintenance costs because maintenance and repairs are based on the purchase price of the vehicle. And since we're doing this after, it doesn't affect the purchase price. So it's a one-time cost, and it'll allow us to use bigger implements. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll just do a few other, I think the weight fell off. Yeah. Whenever you do maintenance, the tools seem to detach themselves. And now I can't get in. That's odd. Why can't I enter the vehicle? There we go. That was weird. Okay, weight up, and we are good to go. So, let's see. I don't think I have any need for the Fendt aside from that. So let's go ahead and park it. And then we'll get out the T6 or the JCB, whichever one is in front, and we'll use that to pick up the bread and take it to market. Oh, and Apache, hello. I'm not sure if I said good morning to you yet. Is that closing? Yeah, there we go. The T6. All right. And one of the main reasons for buying the T6 was to run stuff to the shop and pull light loads and stuff, so it's a good vehicle for that. We've got water in the greenhouse, so we don't really need to do a whole lot here in the month of September besides wait for our crops to grow. And let's start to think about cows. Now, obviously, the actual feeding of cows and care of cows require a lot of ingredients in and of itself. You need grass, you need straw. I think I'll take eggs while I'm at it. We need grass, straw, and silage, and mineral feed to make the total mixed ration that cows like to eat. But we had discussed a little bit before that we should be able to... I really like this setup that we got here with the fence and everything. This is nice. We should be able to buy the TMR to start with, so we don't necessarily have to wait until we have grass fields and straw. We can work our way up to that. So maybe this month we buy some cows. Maybe we buy a cow barn and put some cows in and just start feeding them TMR. We can buy straw as well to put in the stable. The straw is a component of the feed as well as, and it's also used in the stable if you want manure from the cow barn. I haven't used cows yet in FS22. My understanding is that if you don't put straw in the barn, then you will get slurry instead of manure. I don't know if anyone can confirm that. Either one is okay for me, really. Okay, now I need to be a little bit careful here because you can see there is a loading point. Yeah, let me come around from the other side because I don't want my eggs getting dropped into the bakery. I want to sell these eggs. And if I get to that unload point, it's going to start pulling these eggs off automatically. So let's just get close enough to load the bread and not close enough to lose the eggs. All right, we'll have to wait for them to bring out some more. Okay. All right, thanks, Alex. So I think then I probably won't put straw in the barn because I think the slurry is a little bit easier to work with. Either one, either the manure or the slurry, you can use to fertilize your fields. But the slurry is a liquid, and you know, you use tankers and stuff. Yeah, I'll get the auto feeding barn for sure. All right, we still have another three pallets of bread in there. But yeah, I think the slurry is just easier to handle. I think with the manure, we would need a front loader or something and have to load it manually into the spreader. Whereas with the slurry, you can just, you know, load it automatically into the tanks and stuff. Demon BM86, how you doing? Glad you could make it. And Wee Willie, good morning. Okay, that's all of our bread. So let's back away from that from that dangerous drop-off zone there. We'll get this over to the shop and sell it, and then we'll start looking for a good place to put a cow barn. And I'm hoping that at least at the beginning that we'll at least be able to make enough milk to cover the interest payments for the loan that I'm going to have to take to pay for the $750,000 that the large cow barn is. It's quite expensive. Actually, we can run a calculation to see what the additional interest load is going to be. But yeah, we can see that. I mean, that bread is a really good money maker. Getting a lot of dough from that. Ha ha ha. Flour brings in a lot of dough. 50 grand. Not bad for a day's work, huh? I should get into farming, man. These guys are making money hand over fist. Say good morning to Doris. Let's see what we got on sale today. The Challenger looks nice. In fact, I think I mentioned at the end of the last stream, I saw this Challenger on sale. That's a really cool tractor. The tracks are neat. It'll go up to 431 horsepower. But I have to say that at this point, I don't really think I need it. I already have the Fendt and the JCB that can do field work. I don't know. Maybe I buy this and sell the JCB. Even just with the base power, 380, that's a lot more power than the JCB has. And we probably are going to start to want, let me rephrase that. We probably will want to start to have multiple vehicles doing field work at the same time, because we got some big fields. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Back to the bank. All right, current loan amount is $2.7 million. Ugh. Scary. All right. Yeah, and I'll just buy it with the base amount of horsepower for now. And then, you know, like we did with the Fendt, if we upgrade it later, it's not gonna, we'll be paying the lower maintenance cost of the base engine. Let's take a look at our options on the tracks. Yeah, I think those would be like for row crops like corn and stuff, to get your tracks in between the rows, but we don't need that. We do want GPS though. But again, we'll add that later. We'll add that in our own shop. Yeah, this is a nice one. Okay. Now I just have to figure out how to get both of these back to the barn. To the farm, rather. Here, let's get the T6 lined up, and I'll see if the AI can figure out how to get this back to the farm on its own. I haven't tried it on this map. I don't know if it's gonna work like it does with the Giants maps, but let's see what we can do. Let's see here. All right, yeah, so we go to set destination, And I would like you to go, let's see, where are my chickens? My chickens are like around here, right? I don't know. Let's just see if we can get it that far. Target is unreachable. Okay. What if we go forward a little bit further? Target is unreachable. Okay, I guess it's not going to work. Apache, that sounds really good, man. I think spam is greatly underappreciated in our culture today. It's tasty stuff. Don't put it near fences. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah. Still unreachable. I don't know. I don't know what the dealio is. That feature is even a little bit problematic on the Giants maps. It doesn't always. It seems like really fussy about where you are when you start and what finish point you choose and everything. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll get auto drive. There's an auto drive mod where you can set up tracks. You know, kind of like in course play. I guess you could do it with course play too, but you can set up courses, you know, just to run from point A to point B. Watch out, Turbo. I gotta teach Turbo some safety habits. All right, we'll park the T6 in the trailer. I'll leave it here for now, just in case we need it for another job. And then if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to warp over to the shop to get the Challenger. All right, now let's listen and hear how it sounds. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that. It's got a nice throaty exhaust note. Beautiful cabin. Great visibility. There seems to be a bug on my windshield or something. The wipers aren't quite taking care of it. But yeah, this is a fine vehicle. And it has a pretty decent top speed for having tracks. I'm kind of surprised, actually. Yeah, Apache, it's an auto-loading trailer. I got fed up with the forklift. I was spending far too much time messing around with pallets. Yeah, that is a beauty. Love the color, too. Oh, you don't like that steering wheel? I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, I can see why people wouldn't like it. It's definitely got a unique shape. Apache, that's a mod. I'm not sure if there are any. I don't think there are any auto-loading trailers in the mod hub. There might be, but I think they only work on PC anyway, because they use a script for the auto-load feature. I think that's probably one reason why I could probably never play on console. Just to not have that option, I think it would drive me nuts. And the auto-load function works with... Turbo, would you get out of the way, dude? Yeesh. I'm gonna have to move his house. The auto-load function also works with You know, it works with the regular pallets, or what they call the Euro pallets. It also works with the liquid containers that like herbicide and stuff come in. And it works with bales as well. Alright, so let's see if we can shoehorn that in with the Fendt. I think we probably can. Might be a bit of a tight squeeze, but we can back this up a bit. You know what I really need to do is get myself another shed. We'll do that at some point, but I don't want to do it today. I think one of the next projects will be to start removing all the trees here behind the barn so that we got room to expand. Let's see if I can pull it in here and still get the door shut. Might be a tight squeeze. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Ah, okay. Good to know, Alex. Thanks. By the way, if you guys have any questions about anything related to this game, Alex is your man. He has many of the answers, and some of them are even correct. Just teasing, my friend. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we're good on water. So I don't think there's... Oh yeah, we were going to look at potential locations for cows, and maybe even set up the barn today. All right. Well, since we have sheep here, we could possibly put the cows over next to those. We've got plenty of space, you know, next to this this theoretical road. And I have the speed increase installed now. There we go. That helps flying around. Make that a little bit easier. Or at least faster. Yeah. So I'm thinking this might be a nice area for the cows. Although doing that will essentially limit the size of this field to the size that it is right now. But I think that's okay. I mean, like, for example, this field that we've got here, we already know that this is big enough to feed the chickens every year. So we can just plant barley on this field every year. I mean, I think some crop rotation would probably be nice for added realism, but theoretically we could just plant barley every year in this field. That'll take care of our chickens in perpetuity. This field could expand to this area, but I think I'm okay with the size that it is. And at some point we could probably just turn it into grass. In fact, maybe all three of these fields, since we're going to be doing sheep and cows, all three of these fields we could potentially just turn into grass fields. Or corn, right? We could do corn for silage. In fact, I think I would like to do corn for silage just because that's kind of interesting. So, yeah. So let's see if the cow barn will fit over here. I do own that. I do own that bit of land. Animals, cows. Yeah. $722,000. Not a trivial amount by any means. Okay. Yeah, and it looks like it'll just fit here. I wish I could I wish you could zoom out more. Alright, well, let's lose this tree here first. Okay, I'm going to disable flight mode. And, okay. Whoa. Holy moly. It says we're at standard speed, but that's not right. How do I decrease speed? Oh, V. How about now? Okay, now we're at standard speed. Alright, so let's delete this tree. There we go. And we'll try this again. Let's extend the road as well before we do it, just so we can keep hitting the wrong button here. Yeah, let's extend our road here, just so that we can more easily see what our limits on position are. Okay, so we'll first go to landscaping. We go to plants, and then we select anything other than grass. We'll make this road sized, and then what I do is I just go through here and remove the grass so that we can see where this darker soil is. So for anyone who hasn't seen this stream before, you can see all over the map there are kind of these areas where the soil underneath the grass is a little bit darker, which, you know, I guess represent old paths or, you know, wagon trails, what have you. So I'm kind of using those to make the roads. Okay, and then we'll switch to dirt. Right, and then just change the texture from dry grass to dirt. And there's our road. And then I'll go back to the dry grass texture to add a little bit of, you know, extra realism, I guess. Kind of simulate where the tires wear more on the outside. And then we can even plop in a few tufts of grass here and there. Alright, to make it look a little more natural. Maybe a couple on the edge. There. Looks good. Okay. Back to the aminals. Oh, I better borrow some money. The interest is going to kill us. But that's farming. All right. Start clicking. Oh, let me give, hey Apache, if you go to on the Discord in the farming simulator channel, there's a link in the pinned messages. There's a link to all the mods that I'm using, and there's a link there to where I got it. All right, and I'll take us up to 800 grand because we're going to need to buy the cows too. Okay. Well, you know, if we find that we're getting crushed with interest payments, then we can always sell some things and pay back the loan, right? Or we just dedicate a couple seasons to loan payments, if that's what we have to do. I mean, we're certainly making good money, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. But yeah, repaying the loan as a priority might be a good strategy at some point. All right, so I'll just back this up so that we've got like at least enough room between the field and the fence to get a vehicle through. Right about there looks good. Okay. And then we'll need to do some landscaping around here. Alright. So, first thing, let's add some little tufts of grass around. Alright, so it doesn't look so, I don't know, so the edges don't look quite so sharp. Right, and we'll put a little bit of extra grass around the edges, like that. I think that'll look again, look a little more natural. Okay. And then we'll go back to painting. Let's get the dirt texture. Alright, because we're doing dirt where the sheep are, so I think we'll do the same here as well. It doesn't quite look right having, like, you know, dirt everywhere and then just asphalt come out of nowhere. I think I will keep the concrete though as much as possible. Actually, I don't think, yeah, you can't paint the concrete, so that's fine. Why are you giving me trouble now? Too close maybe. Okay. Alright, and then I think all around the building we'll probably want a bit of dirt. Just kind of remove some of the perfect regularity around the edges there. Alright, I think we'd probably have a little bit of dirt like in the high traffic areas in and out of the barn. Okay. And then, of course, all this area here. That's going to be where the feed goes. So you can put in grass and straw and silage, and then this will automatically produce the TMR. All right, so I think that looks good. Let's put in a few trees, as we usually do. Yeah, let's do maybe like a spruce tree here in the front. We can throw in some bushes scattered about. And let's put in a tree that gets some color in it. Maybe a birch tree. I mean, just kind of sticking with the northern theme of the map is why I've been doing, at least as far as the trees are concerned, I've been doing birch trees and spruce and pine, things like that. Yeah, put a birch tree there. Maybe a little one there. All right. Okay. Minnesota Painter 24. At least I think that's what the MN stands for. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that very much. Okay. Oh, what the... Why did it do that? Oh my god. What a mess. I didn't realize that we had such a significant slope here. Ah, that's kind of disappointing. Alright, well, it's too late to fix it. I'm gonna have to, I hate it when that happens. Okay, yeah, it looked flat to me, so, I guess it's not. We can smooth it out, though. Yeah, time to start. Alright, we're playing Calmsden Farm now, that's it. Alright, we can do some smoothing. So we'll go to sculpting, soften, that's what we want, and hopefully this will at least make these transitions a little more gradual. That's kind of disappointing. And it was hard to see it from the aerial view, obviously. But yeah, I think if we soften it enough, it should be all right. Yeah, I think in the future we'll have to be a little more careful about where we put things. Check out the lay of the land first. Yeah, this area back here particularly, I would like to have a smoother transition. Okay. Let's have a look now. That's much better. Okay. Alright, that's not bad now. I'm not going to cry. This part is still a little weird. But I think we can live with it. I mean, yeah, okay. I think this looks okay. It is a little strange, but it looks okay. At least it doesn't look terribly unnatural now. Especially here in the front. I think this is fine here in the front, what we've got. Oh, there's a little bit of gravel there. Look at that. Oh, no, that's the asphalt that I couldn't remove. Okay. Okay. What do you guys think? Is that good? All right. Okay. So let's get some... I guess this is where the milk comes out. Let's get some cows in here, shall we? And let me go back to the controller. All right. Okay, so we've got a choice of cows. The Swiss cows and the Holsteins are for milk, and then you can also do Angus and Limousin cows, whatever you want to call them. Those are for beef, right? So these you just fatten up and sell them. But we want the milk cows because we want dairy. Yeah, transport cost on these is still really inexpensive. So, I think unless you're doing cows for beef or pork, it's probably not worth buying a transportation trailer, you know, because you're not going to be doing much of it. All right. Now, the other animals in the game... The other animals in the game all produce even when they're young, so I'm going to guess that these will do the same. Meaning, I think we'll get, unless somebody knows different, we can buy a $200 cow and wait 18 months before they reproduce. This is a calf. I mean, I guess theoretically calves shouldn't produce milk, right? Okay. Well, we can hold 80 cows in here anyway, so I think I'm going to go with the brown Swiss cows. So let's buy... Let's buy 10. We'll buy 10 young ones. Then we have the 12-month cows, which can't reproduce yet. I suppose if they're giving us this choice, then maybe that means that the young cows don't make milk. Because why else would you want a 12-month cow instead of an 18-month cow? All right. So let's buy You know, in fact, I'm thinking maybe we just fill it up. And if I fill it up, then I don't really need reproducing cows. Right? And I can save myself some money. See, this is information that I think should be provided to you in the game. It should say here, milk production. You know, even if it's just like none, regular, high, whatever. I mean, it should tell you that. Why do we have to guess? Or spend money and find out that we're not getting what we thought we were. That's. I think the in-game tips on the game need some work. All right. We'll buy more of the young ones. I guess we'll just get a combination. Let's get, we'll get 20 of these teenagers. And we'll get 20 of the mature cows. Okay, and that leaves room for 20 more that we'll get for free over time in 10 months. Okay, let's take a look at these beauties. All right. Very nice. All right. Well, I guess we better start feeding these fellas, huh? The other nice thing about these buildings, these animal buildings, rather than just the pastures or whatever, is that you don't have to bring them water, because the buildings, you know, the buildings have water plumbed in. But there is a water cost every month, so that's going to show up too. Yeah, I think that T6 is a little on the small side for my tipper here, so we'll use the JCB. We'll hook up the tipper and we'll buy some TMR. And then in the future, we will have to take steps to start to make it ourselves. Not until next year, though. But we'll start looking into mowing grass, cultivating grass, because you get more yield. And I think it grows faster, too. A little bit closer. And then for our next barley harvest, we will, instead of chopping the straw, we'll start to collect the straw off the field. Oh, right. Grass, silage, and straw, and mineral feed. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm not sure how much that holds, but let's hope that holds. Okay, yeah, I got that. I got that silo there where we can buy it. All right, yeah, so we're going to buy the components, and the barn will make the feed for us. Okay, so we want grass. I'll just fill it up. We'll just do a full trailer load of each one of these things. And hopefully it'll hold this much. Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, so I guess we don't really need hay at all, since the sheep are good with grass too. And actually that reminds me, I already have some grass in the silo. I didn't, that we bought earlier for the sheep. Okay, yep, so grass goes on the end here. Let's get that loaded in. Hopefully this tipper will not interfere with the roof. Alright, it's not giving me a prompt to unload it, so let's just try that. Grass not accepted here. How about here? Uh-oh. I think it does need hay. Ah, okay. Well, Alex, you owe me 1,320 Farm Simulator dollars. Okay. Yeah, so we do need hay. All right. Oh, you know what? Let's top off the sheep while we're here. Save ourselves a trip later. Ancient Phoenix Dark. Hey, good to see you too. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoy the stream. Okay, now we know they take grass. Oh yeah, and my tipper does. Yeah, we're gonna need a different vehicle to do this, or a different trailer. We need one of those trailers that has the moving floor, you know, like with the conveyor on the bottom, or maybe a side tipper, so that we don't destroy the building. All right, well, we'll put this grass in the silo. We can use it for the sheep. It's not a waste. Nothing lost. And we'll try again with hay. Let's look in the shop actually and see what would be a good trailer for this stuff. The power tube, maybe. Does anyone know? Does the power tube tip? Oh, it's the okay. Yeah, the cramp or crampa, whatever you call it, that has the sliding floor. Yep. But that one needs, as you said, that one. Yeah, this one here does. But that one needs the big truck, which I don't necessarily want to use for this. I don't think I have any modded trailers for that. Let's see what some of these other ones do. Oh, you know what? Actually, the forage wagons should have a sliding floor too, right? Or not the forage wagons, but yeah, actually, maybe we should just get a forage wagon. No, I think those tip too. Or do they? The Krona. Is it pronounced? I want to say. I don't. Is it pronounced Krone or Krona? Because I know it's like a Swedish company, isn't it? This one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. They sure want a lot of money for this, don't they? You can get the cover for it. But, you know what? If we're going to be making corn silage and stuff, this one is going to be perfect for that as well. For collecting that stuff in the field. Okay. Well, we'll put that on our wish list for now. Let's see how this one does in the cow barn. And if this one behaves okay in the cow barn, then we'll use it for now, and we can just use a smaller cheap trailer for the sheep. So that we don't get too crazy with the bank's money. Ancient Phoenix, yeah. Yeah, I do still play EVE Online. Yep. I don't, not every day lately, but yeah, I still do play. I take it you're an EVE player as well? There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it'll still interfere. So, yeah, I think we do want to get that other trailer. Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Get the right tools for the job. But we'll use this one for now, just to get things set up. And I'll check if that one can be used for grain as well. Then maybe we can actually just replace this one and use that for everything. But I don't know if it holds grain. I would think not. I don't think you would normally use that type of trailer for grain in the real world. It's probably designed to hold lighter loads that are not as dense. Okay, so we need hay. We need straw. In EVE, most of my time, my main activity in EVE is flying a jump freighter. So that's my main money-making activity. Actually, I have a character that hauls for PushX. So I do jump freighter contracts for PushX. And then I also have an incursions character that flies a Kronos. But I haven't played that one in a while. I've been training him for logistics, so hopefully pretty soon I'll be flying a logistics cruiser. Give that a try. And once in a while I'll do some PvP fleets and stuff, but that's not really my thing. What do you do? Okay, and then we need the silage and the mineral feed. All right. Turbo's kind of staying out of the way. I didn't see what the straw cost us, but I don't think it's too much. Silage. Yeah, the silage is a bit more expensive. Not too much, though. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, you know, Eljack, I went a long time. I played EVE like back in 2013, 2014 or something like that. And then I didn't play for a long time, and then just around the middle of last year I started playing again. Got back into it. It's a great game. But it is one of those things where like it just immediately becomes an obsession, and then it's kind of easy to burn out on it. Okay. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I guess you're probably right. All right. It seems like the JCB is like the perfect tractor for this. It's got just enough power to move these loads around fairly easily. Okay, so judging by the size of these bins, I'm guessing that it's going to use more silage than it uses straw or hay. I'm not sure what the ratio is these days. I know in previous versions of the game it was geez, I don't know, like 1 straw, 1 hay, or 1 straw, 2 hay, and 3 silage, or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was something along those lines. Okay, now we need mineral feed. I'm not sure how much mineral feed. Yeah, that goes in the side, right? I'm not sure exactly how much of that we're going to need, and I'm guessing that's probably going to be the most expensive part, but let's see. Okay, yeah, that's expensive stuff. So we'll just put in what we got here, and we'll see. Well, we'll just refill it as we need to refill it. But now we broke. We just spent close to $1 million. Okay. Yeah, and the mineral feed goes, like Alex was saying, that goes over here on the side next to this little silo there. And you can buy the mineral feed in pallets from the shop as well. But hopefully it'll just let me dump it out here. Yeah, there we go. Now I don't know if this is going to form a pile on the ground or... Okay, I guess it goes into that silo. Alright. And now that we have that... hopefully the auto feeder will start to get to work. Now, I don't know if it goes immediately or if it's like on the hour. I think it's probably on the hour, so let's speed up time here and see if we can get that going so we can watch it. I've seen it on a test map. It is pretty cool. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour again. Come on, Lily. Oh, Lily. We'll call it Lily. We'll call the robot Lily. No, not yet. Do I have to turn it on or something? I didn't see any kind of a toolbar or anything. Hey, Ram Zombie, good morning. We're making slurry. Yeah, it's actually making food. It's just not doing the... It's not doing the animation. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. It needs a way to get in there, right? Alright, let's try the other side too. Alright, get to work, robot. Let's try advancing another hour. What is my favorite movie? Oh, wow. That's hard to answer. I could tell you what some of my favorite movies are. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we had to open the barn door. Alright, so this closes, I guess, for safety. Alright, so then it picks up some silage, puts it into the hopper. I could tell you what some of my favorite movies are. Oh yeah, Ford vs. Ferrari was great. But some of my favorites, I like all the Stanley Kubrick movies. You know, Full Metal Jacket, 2001, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, all that stuff. I love his movies. I like some of the sci-fi and fantasy epics, you know, like Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit wasn't quite as good as Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, but those type of movies are pretty cool. I really liked the most recent Dune movie, and I'm anxiously waiting for the second part. I really like the Wes Anderson movies and the Coen Brothers movies, right? All those. I mean, I think they're fantastic. So, but it's hard. I wouldn't say that I really have a favorite. All right, so now this thing's full. And this mixes the feed. And then it comes out, and then it should move its way over here to the side of the barn. There it goes. Right, so this is what that extra 200 grand buys you. So you don't have to make the feed yourself. Now you could save about 200 grand, buy the next less expensive barn, which is the same size as this, but without the auto feeder. But then in that case, you have to mix your own TMR, like in a mixing wagon, which is, you know, is not that hard, but you got to fill it yourself. Right. And then as this thing rolls down here, it's supposedly like distributing food here in the trough for the heifers. Yeah, I have played Satisfactory. Actually, I've streamed it before. I think I even did a YouTube series on it. Yeah, there you go. So it dumps out the food. Keeps the ladies happy here. All right, we already got 50 liters of milk. I'm gonna need a tanker to take the milk to. Well, yeah, I am, because you can't do distribution mode on your animal products. You have to move them yourself. So I'll need to get a tanker for the big truck, so we can transport milk to the dairy. All right, and then it goes back home. Yeah, and I guess the mineral feed, I guess it gets fed in. Yeah, you can see a little pipe there. It gets fed in from that silo outside to get mixed in as well. All right, and then the bot goes home, and she closes the door. And does it again in an hour. And then she closes the door, I said. Well, it ought to close eventually. Ah, there we go. She wasn't in home position yet. Okay. Yeah, so very cool. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it all fancy over here on Twoplex Farms. And the nice thing about all this equipment is it ought to bring more people into no man's land. That'll buy our bread and cakes. Because Doris is not going to be able to hold up the whole market by herself. All right, let's put this away. And then I think we're done for September. There's still some rain in the forecast, but hopefully it won't be raining in October when we want to harvest our soybeans. Yeah. What is the button? There we go. I was just reconsidering disconnecting it because we're going to need that tipper for the soybeans, but I think I'll pull it with the Challenger so we can start having fun with that fella. I will just leave the T6 out. We're going to have to make another run to the shop tomorrow. Okay, so I think for now I'm going to put a moratorium on spending or on borrowing any more money from the bank, and we'll see if we can start cash flowing this operation, and hopefully start paying back the loan eventually to get our interest payments down. But yeah, we'll leave the T6 where it is. Tomorrow we'll pick up eggs and bread again, and we'll see where we end up. All right, so let's wake up a little bit earlier tomorrow. Well, no, it is going to be October. We'll get up at 8. Otherwise, it'll be dark. I don't like farming in the dark. Oof. Yeah, 12,000 in interest. Okay. Well, we'll just have to deal with it. All right. And now we have lots and lots of lovely soybeans. Let's just take a look at the fields here to appreciate the vastness of our soybean empire. Oh, I can flatten that rock now. And that one. I think we'll do that soon. Remember, we paid a contractor in the last episode to remove all the large boulders. So we can, yeah. Looks like a lovely clear morning. Nice day for a harvest. Let's go get the old combine hooked up. The big case. That sounds so nice. I wish I could rev the engine. Listen to that mechanical music. Alright, let's pick up our header. And we'll do the south field first. I think I'm not close enough. How about now? Yep, there we go. Alright, which way do I want to attach? Okay, I need to attach from the left. So let's just pull it. Actually, I'll just... yeah, right there is fine, as a matter of fact. Might actually be easier to use the T6 for that sort of thing, too. And I know that Alex is going to remind me to check the shop for used equipment. We'll do that here in a moment. First, we'll get this hooked up. And then we connect the PTO. It's kind of fussy, though, sometimes. Please connect PTO. Maybe I have to fold it first. Let's try that. Oh, sorry. Okay. Ah, there we go. And hopefully the hoses are connected too. It's a little hard to tell with this one. I think it should be good to go. We'll find out in a minute. All right, let's see what's on sale in the shop. Ooh, big cedar. Big cedar, but I don't have the money for it right now. That'll be useful for corn, if and when we decide to do corn for silage. All right. Do we do this field manually, or do I get course play on it? I think we better do it manually, at least until our money is positive. Oh, okay. And you do get chopped straw from soybeans. I didn't realize that. That's good. Yeah, you know, I'll do this field manually, and then we'll sell bread and eggs so that we have some money in our pocket, and then we'll use course play for the other fields. See if we can start doing this without borrowing money anymore. Now that we have the cows, that was kind of a major expense. We'll have to save up some money for the dairy, so that we can turn some of that milk into butter. Oops. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. And then after that, we will need to start saving up money to buy equipment for sugar beets. And that's going to be rather expensive. The sugar beet harvesters are not cheap. I think we're looking at around $500,000 for one of those. I really like the in-cab view for harvesting, but just because it's not really in 3D, it's kind of hard to see where the end of my header is. Yeah, see that? So I really have to do it outside of the cab most of the time, unfortunately. Well, at least unless we use GPS. So I'll do another headland, and then we'll start to go up and down. Well, I guess we could expand the field a bit on this side, but there's really not much there. I think I'll probably just leave this field at its present size. We do have a few weeds there in the corners, because we used the course play worker for the spraying, and it doesn't necessarily hit all the corners. Although I think you can set the options for the course. If you set it for sharp corners, I think it'll do those a little bit better. Maybe we'll try that next time. I had it set to do rounded corners, so when it does get a 90-degree corner like that, it just it makes a turn and you miss a little bit of it as a consequence. But it's not a big deal. Now this field, I think we've done a few times now, so we'll check. We might need to plow these fields again sometime soon. I don't know if it'll be this season, but I think it's been a while since we plowed this one. And the soybeans we're just going to sell. We don't have any use for the soybeans, really. So these are, we'll just put these in the silo, and then we'll check the calendar to see when we can get the best price. And when that month rolls around, we'll take it all to market. 'Cause as far as I know, there aren't any products, any production chains that use soybeans. Initially I was thinking that you might be able to use it to make oil, but you actually, there's no recipe for soybean oil in the oil mill. You sell it in June? Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to wait a while before the market is good. Alright, let's watch out for our fence. Okay, got just enough room there. We'll go around once more. Actually, maybe I'll just do this whole thing manually without GPS. It's not such a big field when you have a harvester this large. I do love harvest time. Yeah, soy sauce would be cool. Soybeans and wheat. Yeah, or tofu, right? We need like a Kikkoman factory here. We can make some Asian condiments. Well, Giants did, you know, they did kind of give us some South American farming with the Brazil map and the sugar cane. Maybe at some point they'll branch out into Asia and give us that sort of stuff. Rice fields. Although, to be honest, I've never seen what automated rice farming looks like. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if there's big machinery for that or not. I think there must be. We grow a lot of rice in the U.S. too, and I'm sure that's got to be pretty highly automated. Texas, as a matter of fact, I think produces a lot of rice. Okay, almost full here. This one I bought new, didn't I? Yeah, I've only got 4.8 hours on this vehicle. And I think this one is probably the best. This case harvester, I think, is the best value amongst the really large harvesters in the game. It doesn't have the largest tank, of course, but you know, but for something that uses a big header, I think this was the least expensive option. But you can get, you know, like a 45-foot header with it. Alright, looks like we're going to just make it to the end of the row here. Alright, we'll stop there for a moment, and let's go get our grain cart. We'll use the Challenger. So we can start playing with that shiny new toy. John Deere. Okay. Well, maybe we'll upgrade to that one at some point. Yeah, I'm always doing that. Like, I don't want to bump it, and then I'm too far away. Alright. Let's go, Fleagle. Oh yeah, this thing turns on a dime like the JCB does. Oh, you know what? I forgot to repair this thing when we bought it. Well, we'll do that when we're done with this field. John Deere X9. Let's take a look at that one. $16,000. Looks like the ideals can be configured for more tank. But yeah, look at that. 15.2 meter header. Versus the case. Oh, maybe that wasn't the most economical option. How big is the one I've got? Yeah, the one I've got is 45 feet. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Oh, okay. There's a modded one that's bigger. Alright, so I think we're going to have to work our way around the island here. We'll do that on this pass. Yeah, you're right. We don't have any John Deere yet, do we? I guess we'll have to look for a good opportunity to pick something up. That cedar would have been good. If I had the money, I think that would have been a good opportunity to buy that. Or not the cedar, the planter. Because I think we'll need a planter for the sugar beets, right? Oh, okay. I haven't checked out the mod, the Gator mod. I have used the vanilla one before. That's a nice little vehicle to zip around in. Move small things. We could flatten all this too and remove the trees, but I think I'll just leave this. Add some character to the farm. Okay. Turn on the cruise control here. There we go. Oh, and I was going to mention, thanks to all the support that you guys have given me lately, with all the subs. The views on YouTube in the last month have been really good. So I'm gonna buy myself a green screen to put behind me, so that you don't have to see that chaotic background on all the streams. I'm gonna get the kind that comes on like foldable stands, you know, so it's easy to set up and remove when I'm not using it. I'm trying to remember who makes it. It's the same company that makes like the Stream Deck, Elgato, I think. Yeah, I think it's Elgato. So they have a green screen that comes on like a foldable stand sort of thing, so you can, you know, expand it and then set it up behind you, and then when you're done you fold it up again and put it away. So I think that'll be nice, just to, you know, to keep the room clean when I'm not using it. Speaking of that, I am going to be relocating my office sometime in the near future. We have a front room in our house, you know, what would traditionally be a living room, I guess you could call it, you know, like a formal living room. But we've never used it. I mean, we have some furniture and stuff in there, but, you know, when people come over, we usually end up sitting in the kitchen. You know, we don't go in the living room to do a tea service or anything like that. So, so we cleared out some of the furniture that we had in there. We're going to turn that into the home office. And then this room that I'm in now is going to be my drumming room, as well as storage for some of my wife's shoes. She's like Imelda Marcos when it comes to shoes. Okay, yeah, I'll look for it here in a second, Jack. I'll see if I can link it. I haven't looked at it lately. They might have something different now, but I had looked at it some months ago and thought that would be a good option, since it looks like it was real quick and easy to set up and take down. That's really what I'm looking for. Yeah, and then you can just put it I would just put it immediately behind my chair. And then I can make all the green part transparent, and that way I can, instead of having myself in a 16:9 frame here on the screen, we can just have my head floating above the game. Or we can put some cool special effects back there or something, I don't know. Hello. I got the camera on, FYI. Can't see you yet. My wife just came in the room. She's not quite dressed for public presentation yet. Yeah, so anyway, I'm telling you all that because once I get in that room, I do not, I have acoustic treatments in this room, which makes the sound really controlled. There's not a lot of reverb or anything, which makes it really nice for what I'm doing here. But the other room has a wooden floor, and one side of it is open. Right, there's a window. There's like a bay window facing the front of the house. I'm going to have my desk facing that, so I'll have like the natural light kind of hitting me in the face, which I think will be good for the camera, at least during the daytime. The sound will be a little less controlled, but thankfully this new microphone that I'm using is, it's a dynamic mic, which is mostly a close range microphone, so hopefully it won't pick up too much of the extra reverb in the room. But my main concern is just the lack of a door on that one side where it opens up to the rest of the house. There might be more family noises and dog noises that we have to contend with. Yeah. Well, I do have shutters on the windows there, so I won't have to wear sunglasses or anything. Unless you guys want me to. Alright. Alright, so we got that field done. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to check our statistics and see how many hectares we harvested today. And then we'll know how big that field is. If anyone's curious about it, I kind of am. I like to know how many hectares I got, you know what I mean? Let's take a look. Here we go. And I'm going to make a note of these things. Just out of curiosity. Oh, and I have some interesting information to share with you guys in a minute. Let's see. So if we call this, I guess we'll call this our south field, right? 2.7. Okay. And then we can see how the numbers change when we do the other fields, so that we know the size of the other fields as well. All right. So I think we'll use course play for the next one. Let's head over there and get that going. Hopefully I've got enough room here. Yeah, no problem. No problemo. Okay. Let's get the course play course going, and then we can do some other stuff while the harvester's running. All right. So create job. We want CP fieldwork. We set our start position, which is going to be right there in front of us, basically, kind of going off in that direction. Okay, we're going to start at the first waypoint. Let's open the course generator. Working with 13.5 meters, I'm guessing is correct. I don't know how many, 45 feet, is that 13.5 meters? I'll trust it. All right, so headland corners. Let's do sharp. Let's do sharp corners and see if that hits the corner properly. We'll do 2 headlands clockwise, and we're going to do headland first. Okay, so generate the course, close the course generator, and that's what we got. Yeah, so it looks like it should do this corner and this corner cleanly, the way it's got it drawn out. So let's start the job. And let's watch it to make sure it does it properly. Okay, it unfolded everything. Not enough money. All right. Well, let's play by the rules here. We're going to have to sell some stuff first. All right, so first let me empty the grain cart, and then we'll do our egg and bread run for the day. And hopefully that'll get us on the plus side of 0. Oh, we are completely full of soybeans here, at least as far as weight is concerned. Oops, watch out for the fence. Forgot about that. That's a new addition. Oh, and oh yeah, we won't be able to repair the tractor either, will we? Overload. There we go. Huh. It's kind of picky about my position here. Okay. And then I'll park this here so that we remember to repair. I'm not sure if I discussed this last time. I think I did. I think I discussed it in the last stream, but repairs are less expensive if you do them before the repair state of the vehicle gets too low, because the lower your repair percentage is, or whatever you want to call it, the more expensive it costs per percentage to repair it. Right, so it's less expensive to repair frequently than it is just to wait until it gets down really low and then do it. So I'm going to try to essentially just repair the vehicles after every job, you know, just to keep them in good condition. And I think that makes sense because, you know, with vehicles and other machines, oftentimes if you might have a small problem, and if you don't fix it, it turns into a much bigger problem that can cost even more to repair, right? If you're leaking oil and you don't fix it, well, pretty soon things are going to not be getting oil, and then you got to fix all that too. So I think it makes sense. The other thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is related to the distribution method. I think we did check use today, didn't we? Yeah, we did check it before we started. Related to the distribution method in the production chains, right? So, you know, in the production chain, you have the option to store your output, sell your output. You know, if you store it, it just leaves it in pallets there for you to pick up. Kind of like we're doing here at the bakery. If you sell it, it'll just sell directly to the shop when it's made, but you lose, I think you lose 40% by selling it that way, right? The price is lower. And then the third option is distribution, which you can use for your intermediate ingredients. In our case, that would be flour. Okay, so right now we have it set up so that the flour that gets made at the grain mill is automatically distributed to the bakery. We're doing the same with our greenhouses, right? So because that saves us work, we don't have to load that stuff up and bring it here and drop it off. I was curious as to whether there was a cost for that. And I couldn't really find anybody that knew the answer. Okay, we got 5 more pallets available. Which will give us, 7 total. Okay. I couldn't find anybody who really knew an answer to that question, so I did a test on my test map where I loaded up. I had a grain mill and a bakery, and I had 2 identical loads of wheat. Oh, one more. So I ran the test first where I had it stored, and I checked how much flour I produced, right? So from this load of wheat, I got, where I used storage, I got 14,128 liters of flour. And then I changed it to distribution, and I loaded it with the same amount of wheat again. And then I checked the bakery to see how much flour got loaded in. And when I did that, I got 14,044 liters of flour, which was a difference of 0.6%, 0.6%. So, and that might even just be, you know, rounding errors or something. I don't know. But the difference was so small that it's essentially, you know, it's practically free to have your production buildings distribute rather than store. So I'm going to continue to use distribution mode. Okay, good. So that gets us a little bit of cash to work with. That's very nice. Well, I guess it's a good month for bread, huh? 72 grand that time. All right, and next season we've got a much bigger field to work with, and we'll be using sorghum instead of oats, which yields the most flour per hectare. So we should hopefully next season we'll be getting close to being able to run the bakery all year, nonstop. Right now, I think we got enough flour for, I think we said 8 months, something like that, 6 months, which is not bad, but it would be nice if we can run it all year long, because it does give us pretty good income. All right, so we'll park this up again. Yeah, we'll check out our cows and stuff today too to see how they're doing with the milk. Oof. But I think I'll just leave this trailer hooked up and leave the T6 out, since we're going to be using it every day. All right, so now we should be able to get a worker hired. Let's go back over to the harvester. And just FYI, for anyone hasn't been with me here from the beginning, you see me running around a lot. You don't have to do this. You know, you can just instantly warp from vehicle to vehicle if you wanted to. But I'm just doing this just to make it a little more realistic. Okay, so I think I can do it from here. Hire worker. Yeah, 13.5 was good. Let's see if it works now. There we go. Right on. Off she goes. All right, beautiful. Okay, let's get our Challenger all fixed up, purring like a kitten. Oh, what is that going to cost me? Let's repair our tipper while we're at it. $6,600. Okay, not too bad. We got a great deal on that thing. Now with Courseplay, and I'm not sure if it's working yet, because I know that they're still working on getting some of the features operational. But with Courseplay, you can also automate your grain carts, which is really nice. So what they'll do is you give them a start point and a stop point where they basically, you know, you program in the course for them to go to the silo or wherever you want to take it, and where you want them to wait on the field. All right, so when they come back empty to the field, they'll go to their wait point, and then they'll just wait for the tractor to be full. And then once the harvester is And you can set the threshold to what you want. I usually use 80%. Once it gets 80% full, then the tractor will automatically drive over next to the harvester and unload it while it's driving. Does the course play cost 4K to start? I don't think so. Did I lose 4K somehow? Let's see. So far, I've spent $6,700 on repairs. We have $100 in production costs. $166 for water, and no, we've paid $41 for wages so far. Yeah, so I don't think there was any upfront cost to start it, at least not that I saw. Oh, okay, that was a repair. Okay, this is weird. What are you doing there, guy? Oh, okay. So that's how we do a corner without going off the field, I guess. Okay. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't know if it's in the options anymore, but I know that previously with Courseplay, you could tell it whether it's okay to go off the field to turn or not. But it looks like by default it only turns on the field, which I think is good. You know, depending on your map, you might have a field that's surrounded by fencing or hedges or something like that, and you can't leave the field boundaries while you're working on it, especially on those English maps like Calmsden. Things are really tight, so you want it to stay within the boundaries of the field. We may consider joining these two fields at some point, but I think for now I'm fine to leave them separated. No, you don't have to pay to put Courseplay on a vehicle. You do have to pay to put GPS on, but not Courseplay. Ah, speaking of which, yikes, watch out. I need to put GPS on the Challenger, but I'll just do it when I need it. I don't need it right now. All right. How full are you right now? Okay, it's about half full, so I'll try to get myself lined up to empty it when it comes around here. And then we'll check on our animals and see how we're doing. Alright, so those sharp corners are a bit slower, of course. But I like that you have the option. You could always just tell it to do rounded corners and then go clean up the corners yourself later if you wanted to as well. But this is fine. If it takes a little bit of extra time, it's not a problem. We're on easy economy, so labor costs are not that great anyway. Oh, you know what? I think it's going to want to go around these rocks first. I'll wait for that. So I don't get in its way. But yeah, in this field at least, I think we'll do some landscaping. We'll flatten out these rocks and plow it so that we can simplify working on this field. We'll get rid of that tree there. You're missing a little bit there, guy. I'm going to take that out of your pay. That's about 33 cents worth of soybeans right there. You're leaving on the field. You gotta stay under the pipe, but not get too close to get in its way. All right, that's another $1.50 right there. He's going to be disappointed when he gets his paycheck. It's hard to find good help these days. Okay, let us check on the animals. Okay, so we're starting to collect some milk, as well as slurry. The slurry we can use to fertilize fields, and it'll be good to have that when we start collecting straw. Since we won't get that free fertilization from the chopped straw, we can use the slurry for fertilization, and that'll save us some money on fertilizer. I doubt that we'll get enough to do all the fields, but it'll help. We could probably do maybe 1 or 2 small fields with it, based on my previous experience with the game. Yeah, the food we gave it looks like they're about half full. Reproduction is at 10%. And they're all at 100% productivity. So that's good. How much is milk going to make us? That's something else I'm curious about. Let's see. All right. Well, that's pretty good. 2,000 per liter, or 2,000 per 1,000 liters, I suppose. High volatility in the market right now, but it looks like the early autumn and midwinter are the best times to sell. And then of course we'll need to set up the dairy to make butter. I mean, in our case, I guess technically we should be looking at for the short term, we can sell the milk, but once we have sugar available, then I'm guessing that all of our milk production is going to be dedicated towards making the cakes. We'll have to see, how much we produce versus how much the cake making consumes. All right, let's check on our worker. Yeah, still 50% full. Hop out here. I'm not sure if we have any other jobs we need to take care of right now. Let's check. Yeah, the sheep still have plenty of food. Looks like our chickens need more food, so once we unload our grain cart again, we can take some barley to the chickens. And besides that, I think we're good. Still have lots of flour. Not enough wool yet to bother making cloth yet. We will be making clothing. Once we start making the cloth, then we'll buy the tailor shop. And we'll set up the Seville row of no man's land. Okay, now it's going to start going up and down the field, I think. Not the most efficient way to handle this field, but I guess it'll do. Alright, well, let's not stand around and watch them, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of using the worker, right? If I'm going to stand there and watch it, I could just drive it myself. So let's take care of some of these removed boulder areas and get those flattened out. Right, so in this case, and I'm going to use keyboard and mouse, is a lot easier for me when it comes to the landscaping. Alright, so I want to level. Alright, so I'm going to start at the flat part, or the level that I want, and then go over the part that I want to change to that level. Now let's stop and look at what it did to make sure that that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we'll go to paint. We'll cover that up with grass. Okay. That's done. Now let's go do this bit over here. And then we'll have to come and plow these areas. Okay, I'm going to make the tool a little bit bigger here. Now this is on a slope, so I think we got to be, yeah, we got to be careful with this. Because I want it to be, I mean, I want it to blend in with the rest of the terrain. I don't want to have, like, ledges, if you know what I mean. Which I think is what I'm getting. Alright, and then we'll go to soften. And we'll use a big tool on that. And hopefully that'll even things out. You can really do a lot of damage with with these landscaping tools. Okay, that looks great. Not bad. Not bad. I can live with that. Alright, let's get rid of this tree. And then we'll do this area after the harvester's done with it. And then we'll just have to plow this, of course. So let's, in fact, we can do that now as well. We'll get out the fence and hook up the plow. Which is unfortunately stuck behind that cedar. Or the seed cart, I should say. Well, that's heavy. Oh, I think it's because I didn't hook up the hydraulics. It's probably got its brakes engaged. Now, speaking of plowing, let's see if the fields need plowing in general yet. Oh, okay. That's odd. Okay. So it looks like they need lime. If I turn off everything. Okay. All right, so we don't need any plowing, but it looks like we do need lime on all these fields. Okay. All right, this one does not need lime. All right. So they don't really need plowing, but we do need lime. Let's see. So we go to allow create fields, lower, and we'll have to come back and get the rocks as well. But we should have plenty of lime. I missed a couple spots there. Okay, well that soften tool sure worked well. Seems to be nice and smooth. In fact, maybe I should just try, I think for the next one I'll just try it with the soften tool before I even try the leveling tool. That might actually work better for what I'm trying to do. Oops. Okay. Alright, drain tank is full. Go get that emptied. Doesn't seem like we get a whole lot of volume out of these soybeans, does it? Yeah, so whoops. Jeez. I think I'd rather use this one for the plow. I have the same problem with this one as I do with the JCB. I can't steer it very well. It's a little sensitive. There we go. Jeez, some stutters. Okay, I think he's going around it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. Well, hopefully you can finish the job. All right. Yeah, so let's just try using the soften tool on this one. It'll make it really big. Yeah. There you go. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's better. Seems flat enough. Yeah. So, light touch on the steering wheel with this one. Okay. I'll go and empty this. And the next field, I think I'm just going to do... I think I'll do that one manually. Manually. Or at least I'll do the headlands manually, and then maybe we'll just use the normal AI worker to go up and down the field a little bit while we do some other stuff. And then we got to figure out what we're going to plant on these fields next time. Pardon me. All right, so we'll clear the current course. And we'll get started on this one. Yeah, so now that we have the cows, I think maybe instead of soybeans next time, we could do wheat or something like that. Something that's going to generate straw, which as far as I know are the same grains that you feed to the grain mill. You know, wheat, barley, oats. I think those all make straw, windrow. Yeah, we could do sugar beets. I mean, let's see how we end up money-wise, to see if we're going to have enough money to buy the harvester. I did mean to take a look at that, but I'm pretty sure the sugar beet harvester is around 500,000. That tree is definitely in the way. We'll probably want to get rid of that. Still got some stones there I never picked up. That's okay though. Stones don't affect the yield. Alright. I'm going to have to pause for just a second here, guys. I think my dog needs to go out. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yep, they needed to go outside. They were scratching at the door here. Looks like we still got a family of deer living in there. I know I was talking about cutting down those trees, but maybe I'll leave them. Hey Ashton. I'm not really set up for multiplayer at the moment. Although there's been some talk of doing that, excuse me. So not possible right now, I'm afraid. I can see we're going to get a lot of soybeans off of this field, being as large as it is. What I'm really excited about is getting that new huge field we have to the south planted. And see what we get off of that. That's gonna be a big job. So and that's why I was thinking getting that additional Challenger, that new tractor that we got earlier today, seemed like a good idea, because we're getting to the point where we might want to, you know, for example, have 2 seeders and have 2 vehicles work in the field at the same time. Now we're still on 1-day seasons, or 1-day months, and I'm going to leave the time at 5x. So if we expand and get to the point where we're having a hard time getting the jobs done on time, then you know, our options are either to do the jobs quicker with more workers and or bigger and better equipment. Or if that's not really feasible, then I'll change it at that point to 2-day seasons, to 2-day months, so that we have more time in each month. I don't think we need it right now. I mean, we seem to have enough time to do what we need to do and not miss any harvests or planting opportunities. So might still be some time before we need to worry about that. So what I'm going to do now is we'll get to the end of this row. We will empty the tank, and then I'll have a worker start going up and down the field for us. And then we can finish fixing up this field, filling in those spots where the rocks used to be, picking the stones up, that sort of thing. And then we might even be able to start spreading lime on these fields. Although game day, we're almost at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll see. All right, and then like we said earlier, we're going to hold on to the soybeans until probably June of next year when the price is better. We'll just keep them in the silo until it's a good time to sell. All right, pipe in. Get it lined up. And then we'll hire a worker. And we'll let Carl take over for a while. Okay, so let's plow this little section. And then we'll go get the stone picker and pick up the stones here. And then this field will be ready to go. Okay, that part's done. So we can put the plow away. Won't need that again until probably next season, when I think some of these fields are going to need to be plowed again. Get our rock picker out of the bushes here. But yeah, I think I definitely want to get at least another shed, at least one more shed put in this year, so we don't have to have so much equipment laying around the yard. That doesn't look good. Harvester of Sorrow, thanks for the follow. It's one of my favorite Metallica songs. I know I'm going to date myself a bit here, but the album that song is on, and Justice for All, that came out when I was around the time I was graduating from high school, and I went to see him in concert on that tour, and it was pretty incredible. I was a big fan back in those days. I don't like them as much anymore. I don't think their music is quite as interesting lately. But they're a good band, no matter how you look at it. And they've become very wealthy guys. Hey, Ghost Child, glad you could make it. No worries. What was my first reaction to reload? I don't even think I've listened to it, to be honest. Just because of the fact that, like, really the last time, I think the last album of theirs I bought was probably, I think it was the Black Album, and after that I kind of lost interest in their newer stuff. So I'm not even that familiar with their latest or their more recent stuff after that. So, I mean, it's not necessarily because all the newer music is not as good. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, I just kind of, you know, after And Justice for All, that's kind of when the grunge era started, and I was a huge fan of that music. So by the time their later stuff came out, I was listening to Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and Nirvana, Soundgarden, all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of into a different style of music at that point. Let's see how much lime I've gotten here. None. Okay. I guess we used up all the lime that we produced. I think it's not even worth turning it on for 200 stones. Alright, so we'll have to come down here. We'll have to buy our lime this time. At least until we plow our fields again. Then we should have enough to not have to purchase it. Yeah, so what... oh, okay. That red fence was throwing me off there. Yeah, I was going to say, when I listen to Metallica these days, I usually go back to Master of Puppets and Justice for All. I think those are my two favorite albums from them. Hey, good evening. How are you? Welcome back. Alright, now if I'm going to put in another shed, I could probably get another one like this one, which is not too expensive. I think if I cut down these trees over here, I would probably have enough room to fit in another one. And that wouldn't be too much work to do that. Oh, let me put this seed tender away. And then we'll pick up the lime spreader. And then I should probably go check on our worker as well. Let's do that real quick. Okay, yeah, he's almost full. Oh yeah. Yeah, with the orchestra that was pretty cool. Definitely added some drama to their music. Yeah, but you know, they're a very different band than they were when I listened to them a lot. You know, they've changed a lot over the years. Like, I mean, which is fine. But you know, I think like when I was listening to them, you know, they were very rebellious and anti-establishment. You know, and like I think in those days they probably would have laughed at the idea of a metal band playing with an orchestra. it would say like how ridiculous and elitist it was or something like that, you know. I don't have a problem with it personally, but I'm just kind of highlighting how I think they're a bit different now than they used to be. Alright, so we're abandoning realism a little bit here and warping around, because otherwise you would just have to watch me run across the field for a long time, which is not terribly interesting. Yeah. So like back in those days, you know, they would do interviews and, you know, they would say things like, you know, how they didn't care about being famous or selling records or anything. They were just making the music that they liked, and, you know, stuck up the middle finger to anybody who didn't like them and that sort of thing. You know, that they were young and angry, and I kind of liked the way that they were back then. I don't think they would do that now. I think they're very much a corporate band these days. I mean, not to make anybody mad, but I guess in fewer words, I'm trying to say that they kind of sold out. So, sorry. Dio is pretty amazing. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's the best Black Sabbath singer, because I think Ozzy's voice is just iconic. But I do think that Dio is probably one of the greatest metal singers that ever walked on this earth. His voice is incredible. Was incredible. Anyway, guys, I'm not an expert, you know. I'm not like a professional music critic or anything, so please take what I'm saying as just my opinion. That's all it is. I'm not necessarily any better informed than anybody else here on the stream today. Headless Cross. I'm not familiar with them. I don't listen to a lot of metal anymore. You know, I got a little bit soft as I'm getting older, but I like some of the technical metal that you hear these days. I like Meshuggah. You know, the stuff with the really complex rhythms and stuff. I like that style. Although I'm not a big fan of the screaming and the growling, which to me I think is kind of unfortunate that most good metal music is accompanied by that vocal style that I'm not a big fan of. But some bands, you know, like the Meshuggah vocalist, I'm kind of okay with the way that he does it. Like, just the tone of his voice I don't find to be too obnoxious, but for example, a band that I love the music of but I can't stand the singer is what are they called now? Crud, I'm drawing a blank. It's the one that guy Nolly played bass in. Periphery. Right? Like if I could listen to Periphery's songs without the singing, I would really dig it. But that style of singing, I just don't like at all. It gets on my nerves, so that turns me off about a lot of that stuff. But like, the bass playing and the drumming and stuff for Periphery is awesome. All right, I think I'll take over the harvesting here. Ah, crud. I screwed it up. I was trying to get it to start immediately after I fired the worker, but I messed up my button presses. Alright, let's go around the circle here. Oh, and about the screaming and growling and metal music, I like it as an accent, like as punctuation, I just don't, like System of a Down, for example, like he's, their singer does that sometimes, but he does it, at certain moments in the song. Which I really like, because it's like it kind of builds emotion and stuff like that. I just don't like to hear it from beginning to end of the song, because it's like, well, and in general, I don't want to listen to music that's just like turned up to 11 from beginning to end every song. It's I tend to lose interest at that point. I like to hear some range, hear some progression. That makes it more interesting for me. Okay. Yeah, Surge is great. Hey, Zinc 5, no, I don't sing myself. I wouldn't mind trying it. I don't really have a good singing voice, as far as I know. For me, it's kind of a challenge to sing in tune. I mean, I've just never been trained to sing. I could probably do it better if I worked at it, But the main thing is that I find it difficult to play drums and sing at the same time. So that's the main reason I haven't really attempted to do any singing. I'd rather just focus on the drumming and doing that as best as I can. I do appreciate good singing, though. I think that's why I liked Soundgarden and Alice in Chains back in the day, because their singers were so incredible. And to be honest, I think Chris Cornell is, he might be the greatest of all time when it comes to rock singing. You know, I think you could compare him to guys like Robert Plant and, you know, like some of the greats. You know, he's up there with them, if not even higher on the scale, in my opinion. Again, this is just me talking. He's incredibly talented. Anyway, I hope you guys like chatting about music. I do. I'm going to have to reline this up here. Let's try that again. A little bit closer. Oh, the harvester's shut off. That's why it's not coming out. It only works if it's turned on. I'm still getting used to that. In FS19, it would empty out even if it was turned off. Oh, Freddie Mercury. Yeah, he was amazing too. For sure. Yeah, he's one of the great ones. Alright, we're almost done with this field. Let's get this finished up. And then I think that's, yeah, and then that's going to be all the harvesting for the season. And then we can start spreading lime and getting the fields ready to seed next year. I'm going to be streaming for about another 20 minutes. Should be enough time to finish up this field and maybe do one or two other things, I think. Once the big money starts rolling in, I might buy a second harvester so that we can get through harvest time a little bit quicker, you know. Because you do have a limited amount of time to get it off the field before it withers. And you know, so you can't just keep skipping through days while you're harvesting. And that means that a lot of the other activities need to kind of wait for that to finish. And I know the streams are a little more interesting when we can do a variety of activities and not just run the harvester the entire time. But this is what it is. Ghost Child, I will upload it to YouTube today. It usually takes YouTube at least a day or so to process it once they get it. Usually the upload from Twitch to YouTube is pretty quick. Uh-oh, I just saw the rain symbol come out. I hope it doesn't start raining on me. Yeah, usually the export to YouTube is pretty quick, but once they get it, they have to process it to make the video available in all resolutions. And that's what can sometimes take a day or two. And then when that's done, I go in and I make the thumbnail and put in the description and do all that good stuff. So hopefully by tomorrow, maybe the next day at the latest. Yeah, and the VOD will be here. That's a good point, Zing5. The VOD will be up on my Twitch channel. You can always watch it there for the next couple of weeks. I think they give me either 10 days or 14 days, I don't remember which, before they delete the VODs. So you can always see it that way too. Although, just between you and me, I would rather that you watch it on YouTube, because Twitch doesn't pay me for VOD views, as far as I know. Wink. Oh, yep, I got another little section down there too. Can't forget about that. Yeah, and I agree with you, Alex. I think if we do get a second harvester, we'll go for that John Deere. Yep, I think we'll do that. It looks like a nice one, and that big header will be nice. That's more important than a big tank, I think. So that's ultimately what determines how fast you get your harvest done, is how much of it you can pick up in a single pass. Oh, I think I hired the worker again by accident. I'm not too great with these controllers. Keep going, keep going. All right. Want to make sure that chopped straw gets spread out as much as possible. Right, so like right here, I'm going to go kind of slow. There we go. So we don't miss too many spots. But yeah, I was saying earlier that we are going to want to pick up some straw for the cows in the future. So I'm thinking that for the next harvest, we'll probably want to put down some wheat or barley or oats again. We'll continue with our plan to do sorghum on the field near the grain mill, because that's going to give us the most flour. But sorghum doesn't give us straw. You know, and it's not too expensive to buy the straw, so it's not like... it's not that big of a deal, but I think self-sufficiency is just kind of a nice objective to achieve. I wonder what... actually, I wonder if we can even plant wheat still. No. We're not going to have enough time. Yeah, so I guess it'll have to be oats. Because October is the last month to plant. Well, I don't know. If we work in the night, we could do it. At least on one or two fields. But I think I need to spread lime. No, actually this one doesn't need lime. Okay, so we'll put some wheat on this field as soon as we finish the harvest. We'll come back and do wheat. And then the other fields we'll plant something else in the spring. Maybe we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll do soybeans again. Or we could do corn. We could do corn, and if I don't have the money for a forage harvester when the corn's ready, then we'll just get the corn header and we'll just sell the grain, you know. I think we should be able to take corn to the sugar factory, personally. So I think that is at least in the United States, that's probably the major source of dietary sugars coming from corn syrup, not cane sugar or, you know, sugar beets or whatever. But I think the sugar mill will only take sugar beets and sugar cane. Okay, so this field is complete. Good job to everyone involved. Let's get this unloaded. Oh, you know what? I forgot to check. I forgot to check the size of the fields. So the first one was 2.7, and now we're up to 10.4. So that means these two fields that I just did, the north, let's say the north central field and the northeast field, that means that those are, what, 8.4, 7.7 hectares together. Okay, well that gives us some idea. And I think this is good to know because then we can estimate our future yields and stuff like that. You know, in case we want to do that for planning our production chains and stuff. All right, let's get on somewhere flat and we'll take the header off. First we need to unfold it. Oh, yeah, I can't. I have to disconnect the PTO shaft. There we go. Now unfold it. And drop it. Okay. And then we can fold this up. This thing does go through a lot of fuel, though. I just, we probably used close to 1,000 gallons of fuel just now. I have fuel consumption on high, by the way, just because I always feel like the fuel consumption is unrealistic in any other mode. You know, it's like you almost never have to fill these things up otherwise. You can put a forage harvester header on the tractor. Oh, you mean the trailing forage harvester, like the one that does 2 rows at a time or whatever? Yeah, I mean that could be usable like for a small field maybe. It would take a while. But, oh, let's fill up the tank if I can get close enough. I'm not good at reversing this type of trailer. Alright, yeah, let's refuel. Alright, so let's quickly... How are we doing on time? Yeah, I'm almost out of time. So I might have to finish... I might have to finish the seeding offline. But what I will do is I will get my seeder out. And I will get a worker. I'll just use coarse play to kind of quickly plant some wheat on that field that we just finished, so that we can get that done before the end of the month. Alright, so let's change the seed. That's wheat. Yeah, we'll need that seed tender. Although I think I might... I can't remember if I have seed here in the silo. Let's see what I got. Do I need to open it? No, I'm just not under the pipe. Let's try this again. It's not giving me the option to fill. I don't know if I'm still too far away or what. Oopsie daisy. Let's try to get a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. Fertilizer. Alright, I guess I don't have any seed in the silo. I thought I did, but I could be wrong. Yeah, alright. No seeds. So we'll need the tender for that. And that means I'm going to need to get another tractor to run it. So let's go get the T6. Or wait a minute, I have the JCB here. We'll use the JCB since it's closer. Okay, let's look at this header. Okay. So there's a converter here. I must have passed it already. I mean, these are... Yeah, those don't work on maize. Those are for grass. That's for poplar. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, so this goes on your tractor, and then you hook up, and it'll take any forage harvester header? All right, well, that's pretty cool. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so maybe we can do corn soon. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, so that takes chaff, and then you hook up something like this that makes the chaff and feeds it into that. And I suppose you just have to make sure you have enough power to run it. So if you're going to do it with a tractor, you would be limited to one of these smaller ones, since the next step up is 600 horsepower. Okay, well, that's good to know. Oh, yeah, let's check the combinations. Ah, there you go. Okay. Right, so it works with this one. And then I guess this is telling you that you need a heavy weight on the back, right? Awesome. Okay, yeah, so we can start doing corn chaff sooner rather than later. That is really good to know. So we can do that next season then. We can plant some corn. Awesome. Man, I like having you around, Alex. You make this game much more interesting. See, it would have been like a year and a half before I would have known that. All right. This seed tender, by the way, can work with a pickup truck. I don't know if it would work with a. I don't know if it would work with a gator too. It might. I guess the auger is electric, since there's no hydraulic hookup. Oh, and it looks like my JCB has stayed in the front wheel steering mode for me, which is nice. All right, see if I can get this thing close enough. Yay! It works. Yeah, all right. Minor collisions there. Not a big problem. Mace C123, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And welcome. Unfortunately, we are just about finishing up for today. So you won't get to see too much this time. But we'll be back Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, well, that's good. That's probably what I should have done as well. All right, so we're going to use courseplay for this guy. So let's create a job, and then I can just let it run while I'm having breakfast. All right, and this is my newly upgraded Fendt, which is now a 1050. More power is always a lovely thing. So we'll do that direction. 15 meters. Headland corners. I think we can do smooth corners on the headland because we've got, well, because the field has smooth corners. We'll do 2 headlands. Although in this case, yeah, we're going to start work on the center. Right, so in this case, when we're seeding, we do the headlands last. We work the inside of the field first, and then we go around the outside, right? So let's generate the course. Take a look at it, make sure it looks reasonable. It looks fine to me, so start the job. And he is going to plant wheat so that in the summer next year we can have lots of straw for our lovely cows that we just bought. And then we can take the wheat to the grain mill, so that's going to help our bread production as well. Depending, we'll see how much sorghum we get next year. If we get enough sorghum to keep the bakery running all year, then we'll probably sell the wheat or whatever else we have, or we could save it for chickens. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Oh, goodness gracious. That reminds me. I forgot to plant barley. I forgot to plant barley for the chickens. So it's a good thing that we're doing this now. So I guess we're feeding the chickens wheat next year. That would have been sad. I mean, in the worst case, we can buy wheat. So it wouldn't have meant the death of our chickens if we had forgotten. But yeah, but I don't like the fact that I did forget about it. That's not good. Yeah, we could plant it tonight, I guess. But you know what? I think since we're planting the wheat, I'll just use that. I'll just use the wheat for the chickens instead of barley, as we have done. They'll eat that too. And then on the field that we normally plant barley, I'll plant something else. All right, so we're done with this. Let's get this put away. It's getting dark here in no man's land. It's hard for me to see very well when it gets dark in the game, so that's why I usually avoid nighttime work. But we can still see well enough at the moment. Alright, I don't think I need the Challenger for anything more, so I'll park it. And then we'll finish getting our we'll finish getting our harvester cleaned up and put away and repaired. Let's turn on the lights here in the shed. There we go. I think I might put a floodlight out here somewhere to help us for doing nighttime stuff. In fact, why don't we do that now real quick? Maybe I'll put it right here behind the repair shed. All right, buildings. Oh no, I think it's under decoration. Yeah, lights. I'm not sure what size would be appropriate. Let's take a look here. We got the large floodlight. It's quite nice. It might be a little much. I don't know if you can turn this off at night. I don't know if you can turn these on or off. All right, let's try the medium. Oh, the medium goes in 2 directions. Okay. Yeah, what if we put the medium floodlight? Do you guys know if you can turn off the floodlights? If you can't turn them off, then I think I'm going to hesitate to do this, because I don't necessarily want these lights on all the time. Okay. The small floodlight looks good. Well, I'll put them down. We can always delete them if they get to be annoying. All right, so we'll do a small floodlight here. That'll light up this area. And then maybe we can put another one. Oh, you know what? We can... Can I get this in between these barns? Yeah. We'll put one here in between these 2 sheds to light up the front here. Let me zoom in to make sure I'm not clipping anything. There we go. Yeah, and let's take a look and see if there's a switch. Alright, no, I guess they're always on. Okay, well, we'll see if we can live with that. We usually sleep once it starts getting dark anyway, so I guess I won't really see it enough for it to bother me. It is nice being able to put those lights up, though. It makes a big difference. And they're not too expensive. Alright. I think those are pretty much clean. Alright, let's go in the workshop and get those maintained. Open. Sometimes those doors are kind of tricky to get open. Alright. Close. And they're just as hard to get closed. Okay. Now let's put the header away and park the harvester. And then I am going to leave you while we let our worker finish the field. Alright, so yeah, you know what? I'm going to unhook this. I don't really have a good place to park the header. So I have it kind of next to the shed, but I have to run through the trees to get it there, so I'll use one of the smaller vehicles for that. And I need to leave some space between this thing and the wall, otherwise I won't be able to get out. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so I'll use the JCB to move the header. Just have to disconnect this. Turn on some lights. Yeah, we still got enough light to see, so we don't get stuck in the trees, hopefully. I love those little rattling sounds and stuff when you go over the bumps. It just makes it makes the sound so much more realistic. They did a fabulous job with the sounds in 22. Okay. We'll hook the seed tender back up, and then we'll go check on our worker real quick, and then we'll call it a show. Okay, I'm going to use Insta-Warp here. Oh. Oh, jeez. Carl got stuck on a tree. I knew that tree was going to be trouble. Okay, so now what I have to do to get this going again, we want to start at, I guess, nearest waypoint. Otherwise it'll go back to the beginning and start again, which is not what we want, obviously. Hopefully this will put it back in the right place. And it's not. It's going back to the first waypoint. And it's going to do again what it already did. Alright, well, whatever. I'm not sure. I don't even know what it was trying to do over there. I guess it was probably trying to get down to the next track. We can take a look at the course. Yeah, it got stuck up here. I'm guessing it was probably trying to go to the one just next to it, like right there, but that's okay. We'll pay a little bit more in wages for it to go over the same thing again. I don't think it's going to use any seed if there's seed already there, so shouldn't be a problem much. All right, but anyway, guys, I gotta hit the road. Gotta go eat, do some stuff with the family. So thank you all for being here once again. Appreciate your support as always. I'll be streaming again Wednesday evening my time. We're in the US here, so I'm on Mountain Standard Time, so I usually stream 8 o'clock p.m. on Wednesdays, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So thanks again, everybody. See y'all next time. Take care.